September 11th, 2001. A day that changed the world forever. Imagine, if you will, an ordinary Tuesday morning in New York City. The city was just stirring awake, with the hustle and bustle of the Big Apple slowly cranking up. The promise of a new day hung in the air as people streamed into the towering symbols of American prosperity, the Twin Towers. Office workers, clutching their morning coffee, exchanged casual greetings. Street vendors were setting up their stalls, while taxicabs honked in the busy traffic. Tourists looked up in awe at the towering skyscrapers, their cameras clicking away. The sun shone brightly, and the skies were a perfect, cloudless blue. It was a beautiful day, a day like any other. But underneath this veneer of normalcy, an unimaginable horror was about to unfold. People were going about their daily routines, unaware of the tragedy that was about to unfold. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11, carrying 92 people, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. It was an event that no one could have anticipated. A morning that started as any other suddenly turned into a moment of calamity. The sound of the crash echoed through the city, a haunting symphony of destruction that reverberated in the hearts of the onlookers. A commercial jet, repurposed as a weapon of terror, had pierced the North Tower, instantly transforming the New York City skyline. The skyscraper, once a symbol of American ingenuity and enterprise, was now a monument of disaster. Smoke billowed from the gaping hole in the tower, a stark contrast against the clear blue sky of that September morning. It was a sight that would be etched in the collective memory of the world, a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of life and the destructive power of hate. On the ground, the city was in chaos. People were fleeing in all directions, their faces masks of fear and disbelief. The streets of Manhattan, usually bustling with life, were now scenes of panic and confusion. Emergency lines were flooded with calls, the operators struggling to make sense of the situation. The first responders, the brave men and women who run towards danger when everyone else runs away, were immediately activated. Their mission was clear yet daunting: to save as many lives as possible. News of the crash spread like wildfire. Television screens across the world broadcasted the horrifying images of the burning tower. The media scrambled to provide accurate information amidst the chaos. But one thing was certain: this was an act of terror. The impact of Flight 11 was catastrophic, causing widespread confusion and disbelief. The world watched in stunned silence as the North Tower of the World Trade Center, a symbol of American strength and prosperity, burned. This was just the beginning of a day that would change the world forever. The first attack on 9/11 had begun. As the world watched in horror, 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. The clear morning sky was shattered by the horrifying spectacle. The second plane, like a cruel echo of the first, sliced through the South Tower with a devastating explosion. The world held its breath as the second act of this unimaginable tragedy unfolded. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. The shockwave of the second impact reverberated across the globe as the reality of the situation sunk in. This was no accident. This was a deliberate act of terror. The South Tower, like its twin, was now a massive flaming tombstone in the heart of New York City. The second strike brought a new wave of terror and chaos. People on the ground ran in panic, their faces masks of fear and disbelief. The sounds of sirens and screams filled the air, a haunting symphony of a city under attack. It was a scene of unimaginable horror and chaos, a moment that would forever be seared into the collective memory of humanity. Inside the tower, the situation was even more dire. The building shook violently from the impact, trapping people above and below the point of collision. The hallways filled with smoke, making it difficult to see and breathe. Stairwells were blocked, elevators were out of service, and for many, there was no escape. Those who could, desperately tried to find a way out, their survival instincts kicking in. Others, trapped by fire and smoke, made the heartbreaking decision to jump from the tower, choosing their own fate over the inferno inside. These images, painful to recall, are an important part of the story of that day. Amidst the chaos, there were stories of bravery and selflessness. Strangers helping strangers, people risking their lives to lead others to safety. In the face of unimaginable terror, the human spirit shone through. The Twin Towers, iconic symbols of American resilience and economic prowess, were now engulfed in flames. The second attack marked a turning point, a moment when the world realized that nothing would ever be the same again. First responders heroically rushed to the World Trade Center, risking their lives to save others. These brave men and women, donned in uniforms of firefighters, police officers, and medical personnel, exemplified the true spirit of service. Facing unimaginable danger, they ventured into the burning towers, their minds set on one thing: rescue. Firefighters fought the flames with unyielding resolve, climbing countless flights of stairs, carrying heavy equipment, all in a race against time. Police officers maintained order amidst chaos, guiding terrified civilians to safety. Meanwhile, medical personnel set up triage centers, attending to the injured with steadfast dedication. They worked tirelessly, selflessly, their own lives secondary to those they were trying to save. In the end, many of them made the ultimate sacrifice, their lives given in a heroic act of service. Yet their legacy lives on in every life they touched, every person they saved. Their courage and sacrifice would never be forgotten. Meanwhile, at 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. This attack, a strategic blow to America's military heart, left the nation and the world in a state of shock and disbelief. The Pentagon, an emblem of U.S. strength, was now a scene of devastation and chaos. The plane's impact had set off a massive fireball, causing a section of the building to collapse. The damage was extensive and the casualty toll was high, with 125 people losing their lives within the Pentagon itself, in addition to the 64 on board the flight. Yet even in the face of such horror, the spirit of unity and resilience shone through. Pentagon employees, first responders, and civilians came together in a desperate race against time, working tirelessly to rescue the injured and contain the damage. While this was unfolding, another act of heroism was taking place thousands of feet above Pennsylvania. United Airlines Flight 93 had also been hijacked, with the intended target believed to be either the White House or the Capitol. But the 40 passengers and crew on board had other plans. Armed with the knowledge of the fate of the other hijacked planes, they decided to fight back. It was an act of defiance, of courage, of selfless sacrifice. Their struggle ended in a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the plane crashed, killing all on board. But their brave actions undoubtedly saved countless lives on the ground. In the midst of one of the darkest days in American history, the passengers of Flight 93 became a beacon of hope, a symbol of the indomitable spirit of a nation under attack. They showed the world that even in the face of terror and tragedy, ordinary people are capable of extraordinary bravery. Their actions served as a testament to the indomitable spirit of the American people in the face of adversity. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapsed, followed by the North Tower at 10:28 a.m. A shroud of dust and debris blanketed New York City, turning day into night. The Twin Towers, once standing tall and proud, were reduced to a smoldering heap of rubble. A symbol of America's strength and resilience was no more. In the immediate aftermath, the city was plunged into chaos and confusion. Emergency services raced against time, navigating through the thick smoke and debris to reach survivors. The human cost of the tragedy was staggering. Thousands of lives were suddenly extinguished, and countless others were forever changed. Across the nation, people watched with a mix of disbelief, fear, and grief. The unimaginable had occurred. The United States, a superpower thought untouchable, had been attacked on its own soil. It was a harsh reminder of the fragility of life and the extent of human cruelty. But even in the face of such devastation, the spirit of unity and resilience shone through. People from all walks of life came together to aid in the rescue and recovery efforts. They stood shoulder to shoulder, their differences forgotten in the face of a common enemy, fear and despair. The days following the attacks were marked by a profound sense of loss, but also by acts of extraordinary courage and kindness. Stories of heroism, of strangers helping strangers, gave a glimmer of hope amidst the ruins. They were a testament to the unyielding spirit of humanity, to its capacity for compassion and resilience in the face of adversity. The attacks of 9/11 claimed the lives of nearly 3,000 innocent people and left an indelible mark on the fabric of our society. The world as we knew it was forever changed, but through the rubble and the ashes, the spirit of America remained unbroken. It was a spirit marked by resilience, by unity, and by an unwavering belief in the enduring power of freedom. As we remember the events of 9/11, let us honor the memory of those we lost. Nearly 3,000 innocent lives were extinguished that day, but their spirit continues to shine bright. They were mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, friends and colleagues, each leaving behind a void that can never be filled. They were ordinary people, thrust into extraordinary circumstances, who faced their final moments with courage and dignity. But from the ashes of despair, hope emerged. The unity and resilience displayed by the American people in the aftermath of the attacks served as a beacon of light in the darkest of times. It reminded us that we are stronger when we stand together, when we lift each other up, when we choose love over hate. As we continue to navigate our way in a world forever changed by 9/11s, let us reaffirm our commitment to freedom, unity, and resilience.